I would like to request Professor Nathani to propose a quick vote of thanks for all the panelists.
Thank you very much. And first of all, a beautiful session, full of knowledge, and particularly for retail students, and for which actually this whole summit has been conducted. And I profusely thank Abhishek ji for conducting beautifully, moderation, excellent, and asking very relevant questions to the panelists, and the questions which have come from the student particularly are really good. Here I will just mention, Preeti Chopra mentioned something about the emotional bonding with the consumers. Well, I have been from the industry, not from academia, so I have seen a lot of these such things. How do people get emotionally? I like her concept that a complete man, in today's time, when a woman goes out for work and man takes the responsibility, he is the complete man. And she mentioned something about Father's Day. Many people will be surprised that in 90s, people never heard about the Father's Days. When I was vice president with Woodland, this thought came to me when I first heard from Archie's cards that there is a Father's Day. And my agency was Lintas, and Lintas, I requested, we should come out with a Father's Day's ad. And they said, Father's Day ad? What do you want to say? I said, convey a message that my shoe is so everlasting, long-lasting, that it will actually come back to the person who is actually gifting. And they came out with a brilliant ad which won the bronze at the Cannes. And it was that gift it to your father. In any case, you will inherit the shoe back. And similarly, when I discussed, I heard about Dharmendra. I'm meeting him, of course, the first time physically. Digitally, we have met. So, when he mentioned about the use of the brand ambassadors to promote the brand, well, the names which he mentioned are relevant to particular sports. In India, somehow or the other, I have a point of view that very popular stars, very popular sports star, they actually give a lot of rich dividends to the brand, because if you are very specific to a particular sports, sometimes results are very limited. Just to go back into the history, at SSIPL, where I was also an employee, and we signed up Sania Mirza, which became celebrity later, after we signed her up. She was a youngster of 16 years at that time when we signed her for the Lotto, and she went on to become a celebrity internationally. So I personally feel a known face, a well-known face, pays much more dividend. Abhishek ji, thank you very much for moderating, because the time limit is, and I think we have another program here for another 15-20 minutes. With that, I thank each and everyone for attending. Akash, particularly flying down from Bangalore. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And now I would like to invite Professor Nathani, Advisor Retail Management Program, Bimtech, to propose the vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. I'm sure that after lunch, everybody feels like sleepy. But thank you very much for a very lively discussion, very insightful discussion, and which actually they have shared the knowledge with all the young students, which will come very handy to them. So luckily, on the panel are 4 of my very old friends. One is a youngster from Crocs, Manoj Taneja. He happens to be working in a company, the brand which I launched long back in 2007 at Chogori, who was the licensee at that time. So we were discussing during lunchtime how tough it was to launch a brand like Crocs. And people used to laugh at us that it's a plastic chappal, and at 250 rupees chappal should not be sold at 2000 rupees. So I think while we struggled a lot to make the brand successful, Manoj Taneja is actually reaping the harvest of that. Thank you, Manoj. Second panelist on my left is Ashwinder Singh. Well, his friendship with us goes long, long back into 1993 when I joined Woodland, and he was into business of T-shirts, USI, and because I gave a statement in Economic Times that Woodland is not selling shoes, but Woodland is selling lifestyle. So we have to live up to our statement in Economic Times. So we wanted apparels to be launched against the wishes of my chairman. He said, our business is leather business, footwear business. What will we do with the T-shirt? I said, no. To go to a lifestyle, you have to do the fashion shows, and the people don't look at the feet. They look at the faces of the models, beautiful model, and so T-shirt will help us. So let's get the promotional T-shirt made. So they said, we have a friend, Mr. Ashwinder Singh from USI, he will make 500 T-shirts for you. So the first order of Woodland promotional T-shirt was given to USI, and that made beginning for Woodland to be starting with the apparel range. Later on, today, Woodland is basically doing 45% of the business from apparel. So thanks, Ashwinder, for giving us a path to the apparel at that time. Beautiful T-shirts, and people loved the apparels, and we came into. Thank you. So our friendship goes 25 years ago. Thank you so much. Suresh Nambiar, the moderator, I know him for last many years because I'm also ex-Adidas consultant, and he also was in Adidas. We have been often meeting in the market when he was with Jockey, as well as recently with Pepe. So we come across, meet a very friendly guy, a very mature guy, a very sensible guy, and overall a great human being. I love him for being that quality of being human being. So 3 cheers for Suresh Nambiar, because in today's professional world, to get a good human being is tough. Thank you, sir. Then on my left is Rajiv Bhatia, again a footwear guy. So if I'm in footwear for last 25, 30 years, so people who are connected with footwear know me, and I do also know them. Rajiv Bhatia is another gem of a person. He works for a company I will call that when all companies thought online will kill the offline, but Relaxo flag still flying very high. And I think they have gone into online also, but for them, it is not only online business, it's a mixture of offline and online business. Thank you, Mr. Bhatia, for joining us today. The only person whom I'm meeting for the first time, it's my privilege to introduce and thank Dharmendra Matai with Devyani International. Well, it's an honor, sir, to hear your views and your knowledgeable answer on that banking question. Absolutely right. It's a government policy that makes us to sometime explore into villages in tier 3, tier 4 towns. As he said, Jan Dhan policies or the present government's policy to reach to the consumer rather than customer going to the banks. So with that, I profusely thank a very lively discussion which happened here today, and first session as well as this session, I think the whole thing was the war between online and offline. And I think both are going to survive. So it's not only physical retail or digital retail. I think a combination of that phygital retail which will always remain. So it's going to be a phygital retail. So be happy, enjoy. Thank you so much.